Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, today we're going to make a Christmas card and we're using some items from Pretty Pink Posh. We are using the Winter Circle stamp set. Now, Winter Circle stamp set has a coordinating die. We'll be using that, but we're also going to be using last month's Circle stamp set coordinating die set, the Fall Circle coordinating dies. It's nice because you can interchange them. You all of the die sets that go with the circle stamps, they are mix and matchable, which makes it really nice. So we're going to use two today. I'm also going to be using this fabulous background stencil. It is called the Layering Holly stencil set, and it is 3 pieces. Each of the pieces are labeled with A, B, and C, so you know exactly what layer goes first. And then they're also indexed with Pretty Pink Posh on the front. So you know exactly what's the front side versus the back side. I'm going to flip them over, and I did go ahead and add pixie spray behind them. It just makes it easier. Now with layering stencils, what I like to do is put the stencil in the corner of my card panel. This is an A2 size panel, so I'd put it in the bottom right corner, and then we're going to cover those berries with some distress oxiding. This is candied apple. I'm going to go ahead and wipe off my stencil while it's still on my panel. Sometimes I think it's easier to do this while you have the cardstock behind it. So berries are stencil A. So once this is finished, I'm going to remove my stencil. And then we're going to go ahead and grab our next stencil, which is stencil B, which is the holly leaves. And this is where it's easy to line up from corner to corner. You just place it in the corner and then you're ready, you're good to go. It's automatically lined up for you. Now for my holly leaves, we're going to use 2 different shades of green. I have Shabby Shutters. This is, I'm going to bring in my blending tool for this. And we're going to go over our holly leaves first with Shabby Shutters, and then once we have Shabby Shutters done, I do want to do a little bit of shading to add a little bit of depth to my holly leaves. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my peeled paint and my finger dauber. I just want a little bit of area on those holly leaves with a darker green, so using a finger dauber is actually easier. And I'm just going to cover the entire panel and add a little dimension with 2 different shades. After we have both of our shades of green on our holly leaves, I'm going to go ahead and wipe off my stencil. Again, it just makes it so much easier. And then we'll just peel away our layer B, and I think it looks really pretty. We're going to grab our C layer, which is the spine of our holly leaves, put that in the corner, and then we're going to take a darker green. So this is Forest Moss. I think this is the darkest green that I have. I'm going to grab one of my finger daubers since this is not very much surface area. Finger daubers work great for this. And we're going to go over each of the areas with our Forest Moss. Once we have this all done, our holly leaves are nice and dimensional and pretty. I'm going to wipe off my stencil, and then we get to see the beautiful results. Now I'm going to go one step further, and we are going to go back and grab our A stencil and put it back in the corner. What I planned on doing is we're going to add some texture paste over the berries to give our background panel a little bit of dimension. I had bought this texture paste. This is transparent matte texture paste, and when I bought it, I wanted the opaque white texture paste, and I must have been in a rush or something and picked the wrong one. But I didn't want it. I thought this is neat stuff. We'll give it a try. This, since it's matte, it's not going to add any shine. It's just going to add dimension, and it's transparent, so it's going to dry clear. It's going on cloudy, but it does dry clear. So I'm just going to go over the berries with this, giving my background a little bit of dimension with those berries. I'm just using my palette knife here and spreading it. This is a very soft consistency. It's like room temperature butter, so it glides over the berries beautifully. Okay, we're going to go ahead and remove our stencil and set this aside to dry. And again, it's cloudy, but it will dry matte and clear. So I'm not even sure if this is going to dry as fast as the regular texture paste that I use, but we'll see. Okay, now we're going to do some stamping. We're going to take our winter circle stamp set. There's 6 circles in here, and I chose the one with the holly leaf, of course. We're going to stamp this on some white cardstock. I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink to stamp this twice because we're going to color in our image, both of them, with Copic markers. Now one of them I'm going to add a little bit more detail with Copic markers, and the other one I just want to do a light shading. We're going to actually fussy cut one out and layer it on top, so I don't have to do 2 detailed colorings. I'd love to color in, but we're going to start off coloring in our berries with 3 different shades of red. I have, let's see, lightest shade is R29, and then we're going to do a little shading with R89 and R37. Then we're going to bring in some greens. You're going to see me swatching a lot of the green. I wasn't very prepared, first of all, when I was coloring my holly leaves. I wanted my holly leaves to coordinate with my background, and I was having a hard time finding coordinating colors. I had misplaced my little swatch book, so I'm doing a lot of swatching. So I ended up using like 5 different colors for this bottom holly leaf, but my base coat was with my YG61. And then I'm doing detail shading with G99 and G94. And then I realized that that the lighter green wasn't the green that I wanted. So I'm going to go over the YG61 with my YG21, kind of brightening it up, giving it more of a limey green. And I was happier with this result. Once I'm all done coloring, I'm going to take my fall circle die set. I'll take the circle that's in it and die cut out my circle with just my 1 color holly leaf. We'll just make sure it's lined up. And then my other holly leaf, again, we're going to fussy cut out to the line of our stamped image. Now for our panel here, I'm bringing in some craft cardstock. We're going to die cut this out with our craft cardstock. Once we have everything die cut and fussy cut, I'm going to go ahead and take my black Copic marker, it's not a Copic marker, take that back, my black Memento marker, and we're going to go around the edges of our fussy cut holly. This really does give a clean and finished look, especially when you have not a smooth cut, like a choppy cut. It really does clean it up. Once I'm done with that, I'll add foam squares behind it, and we're going to put this right over our existing holly. This is just going to give it dimension, and I love doing this. Okay, I also took one of the dies. It looks like a ribbon from the Stitch Borders 3 die set, and I die cut it out with white cardstock. I thought we would put this right behind our little circle and create like a faux ribbon effect. Now this is not quite dry, but I think it's dry enough to work with. You can see on the right here, I have some white area, and then on the bottom I have white area. So all I did was trim off a 1/4 inch. That was because I put my stencil in the corner. But of course you don't have to put it in the corner. You could gauge it however you want. But I went ahead and trimmed it and then adhered that to an A2 size card base. We're going to make a landscape style card. So after that's done, I'm going to position my craft cardstock in the middle of my card base, and I'm going to tack down my ribbon strip, and then I did put my holly leaf right in the center there. Now for my sentiment, I'm going to be using the Holiday Scripts stamp set. I just chose 2 of the block letters. The first one says Warm Holiday, and the second one says Greetings. I'm kind of trying to evenly space them on that ribbon strip. And when I finished, I thought it just needed something else, so I did die cut out some red cardstock with the little scallop circle that came with the Winter Circles die set. We just matted our circle on that. Now when I did that, it didn't leave me any room between the sentiment, so I'm gonna snip it down the middle and kind of space it about 1/4 of an inch to give me a little bit more room. And then I'll replace my holly leaf, and you can't even tell that I cut my ribbon strip. Kind of a quick fix. Okay, I am going to trim off the left and right of my ribbon strip, and then I'll take my white gel pen and just follow along the stitch marks that are already on that craft cardstock. So it basically has 2 layers. Now, after we have this done, we're going to add a little sparkle and some glossy accents to the berries. And then I do want to let you guys know that after the card was done, you'll see in the close-up pictures, my Copic colored holly leaf still wasn't coordinating very well with my holly leaf background. So I took my stencil and put it over the top while the card was all put together. And then I added a little bit of mowed lawn, and that just brought it full circle for me. I love the colors and the way it turned out with that mowed lawn. But that's my card today. I wish you a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. We will see you again soon, guys. Bye-bye.